D&G Corporation, it's your boy Danny G, and I'm back with another video, man. And this time, we're gonna be discussing aggression and passion and forcefulness and being dynamic and just pressing forward in God. That's what we'll be discussing today. So without further ado, man, let's just get into the video. Now, this topic is very important. Many times in our Christian lives, we usually start on fire with God. When we first discover that love and that passion and that zeal and that compassion and that unforgiveness and everything that God has in stores for us, we start on fire with God. It's a given. It always happens. When you first fall in love with Christ, you realize that you discover something that's so supernatural, something that's so rare, that you found a treasure that you can't give up so easily. But also, as we go ahead and have that fire for God, there's a time that comes too where that fire starts to dwindle and it starts to, basically recede and fade away as time goes by, because we are in a constant battle each and every day with our spiritual lives. We're battling the flesh, we're battling demonic spirits, we're battling situations in our lives that can cause us to be astray from God at times. But the past couple weeks is one of the things that I've been dealing with. Church is basically that place where the gathering of the church is, and we encourage one another to go ahead and stay uplifted and continue to seek God. But throughout the week is the real test. From Monday through Saturday is when we actually face the actual battles and the real tests throughout the week. Now, we also need that fire and that encouragement to help us to keep going throughout the week. Now, God has been dealing with that. He's been dealing with me, telling me that I ought to be aggressive for Him. I ought to be forceful. I ought to be violent to be at His feet each and every day. Now, there's many benefits to that, because when you pray every day, when you are in the Word every day, you have that intimacy and that connection with God, and you establish a strong foundation that you won't be easily shaken or removed from that foundation of that rock, because Christ ought to be our foundation, right? The Bible says that if we're in Him, we're a new creation, right? So we are changed from our old ways, and a new man is here and taking over, and we're walking in a different light. So in order to maintain that, we have to be aggressive and on fire each and every day to be at His feet. I know there's situation that comes. I know there's distraction that comes. I know there are things that we're dealing with within our family. There are things that we're dealing with within our personal lives and our issues and battles and situations that we're dealing with. But if we maintain that relationship, if we maintain that trust, if we maintain that passion and that zeal to continue to be at His feet, to continue to long for His presence, what are we faced throughout the day? Well, it will be a problem. I'm not saying there's not going to be a problem. We will face problems and situations, but we will easily overcome it because we have God dwelling in the midst of our situation. Now, that brings me back to the book of Leviticus, chapter 26, I believe. God speaks about us not, worshiping false idols and not putting those idols before Him, because He is God and He's our King, right? And God gives us instruction. He gives instructions to the children of Israel, and He says, these are the things that will happen if you follow my words and my instruction and you dwell in my presence. And these are the things that will happen if you do not dwell in my presence. So listen, the things that will happen if you dwell in my presence is that you will receive good increase in due season of the land. So your environment will be fruitful. I will dwell in the midst of you. I will cause each and every one of your enemies to flee away from you. 5 of you shall be able to chase away 100% of 100 of your enemies. 100 of you will be able to chase away 10,000 of your enemies. I will cause demons to flee. I will cause you to rest in peace, and I will cause you to live in eternal peace. Okay? So that's what happens when we dwell and we are aggressive in God. Now, if we do not do well and we rebel against God, there is an upside to it. There's a chance that this is what would happen, basically. So He basically says, if you don't listen to my instruction, if you don't abide by my words and you don't abide by what I tell you, basically I will hate you. I will look at you in disgust. I will cause your enemies to triumph over you. I will cause your people to die off. Man, and that really hit me. I'm like, wait. So God is really strict. We know this God that we talk about, this king, this loving God that we talk about every day. Oh man, Christ is so loving, and he's so compassionate. He forgives, and he's always longing for our hearts. But you know, he also has a wrath, right? He also has a side in which if you don't listen to him, you don't long for his presence. You don't long for his glory, his kingdom. We don't seek first for his kingdom. There's a bad side too. Just like every human, your parents, they will reward you if you do great things, if you listen to them, if you wake up every morning and do your chores, and if you go to school, you get good grades, and you're doing great things and academically, you're doing great things in sports, you're doing great things in your community, you will be rewarded. But if you're not doing, contrary to that, basically, if you don't listen to your parents, they're gonna still provide for you, but they're not going to reward you. And that's the same thing with God. We need to come to a place where we need to be strong and on fire. We need to be persistent, and we need to be consistent, and we need to go ahead and seek his presence each and every day. Aggressiveness in the kingdom is a must, man. But we have to come to a place and be just like David, that as we fall, we might fall and take one step back, but as we get up and we continue to walk and pursue his presence and continue to be at his feet, we will take about 10 steps and continue to keep going, taking our cross, and keep on fighting and keep on battling each and everything that we deal with in our spiritual life. And that's what God has been telling me. That's what he's been dealing with me in my walk with him. Aggressiveness is a must. It's not going to be easy. The enemy does not want us to just win easy. The enemy is, one of my brothers told me this. He said that Satan is your spiritual coach. I don't know if I'm saying it right, but he said he's like your spiritual coach or something like that. Because if we're fighting to get to heaven, if we're fighting to go through that narrow gate and escape destruction, of course there's going to be adversities. Of course there's going to be situations. There's going to be so many trials and tests along the way, but we ought to press on, and we ought to be violent and fight each and every day. Being violent meaning wake up every day, praise, worship, make God the number one dwelling place. The word says he's that dwells in the secret place of the Most High shall abide under the shadow of the Almighty. So if we make him our secret place, if we make him our habitat, if we make him our dwelling place, he will cover us from destruction. So it's all about aggression. It's all about passion. It's all about zeal. It's all about forcefulness. It's all about being dynamic. It's all about being persistent, consistent. Every day that you wake up, seek God. And I have to remind myself that each and every day, Daniel, as you wake up, make sure he's the number one priority. Make sure that you make him number one. And every decision that you make him number one. And everything that you do, think, what will God think about this? Consult him first. Let him be the number one person that you consult before you make a decision. So aggressiveness, being passionate, dynamic, forceful, being like, oh my gosh, like basically being unrighteously violent, if you know what I mean. Don't allow anything to distract you from your passion and the presence of God. Intimacy with him is a requirement. Relationship with him is a requirement. I don't know about you guys, but every time that I start out throughout the week, sometimes it's like, on Sunday, I'm at 100%. Monday comes, I'm at 95%. Tuesday comes, I'm at 75%. Wednesday comes, I'm at like 70%. And so on and so forth until the next Sunday comes. And sometimes I realize and catch myself through this whole week and through these different transitions, my relationship with him, he reminds me and says, whoa, son, you need to slow down. You need to be in my feet right now. because I realize that you're paying attention to some other things that's causing you to be distraction, for you to be distracted from my presence. And that's how we ought to be with him. There's a lot of things going on out in this world nowadays. You hear the news, man. Now you can watch the news and you just hear something and it crushes your spirit, it crushes your heart. But God said it's not going to get better. It's going to be worse, actually. So every day that we take, every chance that we have, we ought to be at his feet and continue to seek for his presence each and every second of the day. It's not easy. It is not easy. It's not going to be easy. Following Christ is not easy at all. But if it's a decision that you made, if it's a decision that you stuck with, and you know that following him is not in vain. He's the only person that you can follow, and it will be, and it is not in vain. There's reward. First of all, there's a relationship with him. I'm having a relationship with my maker, the one that created me, the one who is the lover of my soul. That's a benefit in itself. There's heaven, eternity with him, protection, love, passion, excitement, blessings. So much in Christ, man. Being a Christian is not boring at all. It's not. It's actually one of the most fulfilling relationships in the world, because you have a relationship with God, the one that created. So DNG Core, man, really appreciate you guys tuning in, watching this video. If you did like this video, make sure you go ahead and hit the like button, man. Subscribe, share the video, man. And as this week starts, man, remember to be aggressive and be dynamic and be forceful in his presence. Be at his feet at any given time. Thank you very much. Make sure you like and subscribe. You have a great rest of your day. And remember, God wants your heart. Deuces. Yeah.